Mom! Dad's got another tattoo!
In this episode, one of us gets emotional about country music, one of us pays £50 to repair a £7 teddy bear, and one of us has bought a £200 Bluetooth-enabled erection monitor as we navigate midlife. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Mum, Dad's Got Another Tattoo, the Midlife Crisis podcast. I'm Mark and I'm joined by my co-host Richard. Hello, Richard.
How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks. We want to build a community here, don't we? So get in touch with us at socials. So like a real
Jesus, that's a good
sound like a real expert, don't I? Anyway,
Spitfire. Sorry, Spitfire was just going past that the window.
Fuck off, you Spitfire! Another boy. They fly over here all the time. They're so boring. You know those people I want to drop out of the school gates I was talking about the other week? They're all fucking Spitfire bores.
Can I quickly go on it? It's terrible this is, God, if my family listens to it. My father-in-law is he loves all the World War II history. So for his 80th, we got him a flight in the Spitfire. Amazing day. You go down to a Biggin Hill. It's a 2-seater Spitfire. It was amazing. And they paid extra, so what they call a chase plane. So there's 5 family members can go up in it. Not a chance on this planet you're getting me up in a little plane. You put me in a 747, put me in the Dreamliner. Yeah, absolutely fine. Something that basically, I've watched enough air crash investigations to know engines fail. They will glide for a set amount of time and the pilots can do something. Basically, if the engine goes on one of those little... you're basically in a fridge. I'm not getting in one. My wife got in it. I went, you can crack on. And me and my sister-in-law... Yeah, it's very nice, but she wanted to. So me and my sister-in-law, it was terrible. As the Spitfire was about to take off, we went... Has he sorted out all the inheritance? That's the first thing she said to me. I was like, you are cold.
Well, fridges not known for their aerodynamic properties.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like I was sidetracked a little bit there because we do want to build a community here, and to do so, we'd like you to get in touch on social media. It sounds so wrong. It's social media.
On the social media.
Anyway, we have got social accounts at Dad's Got Another Tattoo at Gmail. Find us on Insta, Blue Sky, Threads, and give us an email. I'm sure you'll be able to work it out. And if you can't, then don't. Anyway, on with life. And, we're creators now. I feel like a creative, Brownie. Have you stopped thinking about days of the week and started thinking about units of content?
Oh, yeah. I've bought a beret. That's how much of a creator I am. A pet tiger will probably be next on the list. But yeah, no, it does. It quickly, something happens in a day and my mind goes, oh, that's content. It's terrible. I start, my whole thinking pattern changed.
Well, yeah, maybe that's what Andy Warhol meant when we were all going to be famous for 15 minutes. We're going to be mining our lives. It's almost like I'll try and sabotage it just so I've got something to talk about. But... Also, there's no need for that because there's plenty of other saboteurs out there ready to ruin your day. Chief amongst which my dogs. Got 3 dogs. Now, what do you think the chances are in a house of wife, child, 3 dogs that all of them will be behaving as they should at any one point?
I've known your wife for many years. I know your dogs, and I know your dogs literally 0.
Literally 0. So we came home from a day out. And as I was walking, I looked up at my daughter's bedroom window that I can see, and I can see the doors open. That only means one thing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dogs have been in there. Now, we have to pray that my daughter's beloved teddy bear has been unscathed and unharmed by the courses of the accident. And unfortunately... Barry, the imaginatively named Barry, was a casualty, but not too bad, She's already missing one ear. She's now got no ears and no tail as well. And so there was a bit of hysteria that we had to sort out. And in the course of, trying to calm that down, I literally Googled teddy bear doctor.
They've got to exist. If it's on the internet, they exist. I'm sorry.
They do exist. And pleasingly, there is one. Basically, about 2 minutes drive from my house. I thought this was going to be a whole day off, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. However, so I took it round there, 50 quid.
That was my next question. What's the damage?
Well, £50 is not a life-changing amount of money, but in comparison to the cost of the bear in the first place, actually reminded me of a friend of mine who bought hemp stuff at £8 and then 3 months later was spending £57 on antibiotics for an eye infection. But Barry has been to the hospital and back again. I managed to negotiate the price down to, well, not least because this woman actually has clients from all over the world, like beloved teddy bears from like years and years ago, and she will properly restore them.
That's amazing.
It really is. Like she said, California, China, Australia, Germany. She really has made a little cottage industry out of it. So thank you to her for sorting that out in time. So that was good. And, the other thing that happened as well. Now, I think the thing about midlife is that, we said we connected to younger versions of ourselves, and we're still relatively young. I'm sure my dad had his birthday the other day, and I'm sure he would love to be 45 instead of
TC.
Yeah, instead of 73. And but then there comes the inevitable. You are actually old. Now, explain this to me. So I was at the gym the other day, as I pursue. Yeah, as is my want. And, of course, the child had been using my headphones, so I put them on, and they were immediately out of batteries. Oh, fucking hell. Right, so for the first time, really, I'm trying to be what John Richardson calls a putter. He categorises people in two classes.
Yeah.
Putters and leavers. I am a natural lever. I leave things. Anya, to her credit, is a putter. She put things. And leavers never know where they left things. Putters always know where they put. I put these headphones on the windowsill because I didn't want to forget them as I left. Felt really proud of myself that I was doing that. I was like, I am consciously...
Well done, Mark. You said to yourself, well done.
Yeah, you're a really clever boy, you are. Putting things there.
Pat on your own back.
And the gym is... I would say about a 90-second drive from my house. So as I left, I drove and I turned up at my front door and I thought, do you know what I've done? I've left the headphones on the side in the gym. But because of, I was squeezing that in with all the other shit you've got to do in your life, couldn't go and get them. So I phoned them up and said, I've just left. I've left my headphones on the side. Can you go and get them? Yes. Next day, went in there. Are the headphones here? No, they're not there. Can you... And they text she was only like the Sunday girl on the reception, so she wasn't a full-time member of staff. They said, come back later and we'll find out where she's put them. Came back later. No, can't find them. In fact, she didn't know where they were. She couldn't find them when... God, they've gone as well. So I went away on business, got a WhatsApp message from Anya. In her hands were my headphones.
But you left them at the gym?
They were in the back of the car.
How'd they get there?
I went and got them from where I put them, and then in the 90 seconds between leaving the gym and getting home, completely forgotten that I'd done it. I still have got no recollection of
it. It is what I have termed in my own head, because I do the same. It's middle-age STML, short-term memory loss. It's STML. I laughed at my parents for many years suffering from this. I am that person now. I can do something and while I'm doing it, forget that I'm doing it. And it just happens. This is the journey we're on.
Yeah, so I was extremely disturbed by that, but the overriding feeling was one of relief that I didn't have to fork out another pair of headphones. So we'll forget about what the actual amnesia means, but still absolutely no recollection of doing that at all.
Speaking about those, I love the earbuds, and as you know, we've had this discussion. With my undiagnosed ADHD, there needs to be noise in my head constantly, whether I'm making it or it's better if it's an outside source. So most of the day I'm walking around with one earbud in because I want to be remotely present. I mean, they know when I've got one in. I lost my headphones and I thought, no, I'd had them only about a few months. Looked everywhere for them. And I thought, right, no, bite the bullet, buy a new pair. Literally a day after the 30-day return ran out, they appeared. So now I've got two sets of headphones. But do you think I've told the missus? No, they are buried deep in my office. So they can never be found.
Is she one of our faithful listeners, or are you trying
Not at the moment, but by the time she eventually gets round to listening to this, hopefully it'll be too late.
Right. So any units of content created this week for you?
Yeah. Another reason I realise that I am middle-aged, I finally bit the bullet and decided to buy a new car. Walked into the garage and was basically, I was a bit ashamed by how I felt. It's a reasonable car garage, and it's from the brand. The salespeople are walking around on their phones, just like, all right. I'm like, oh, is this how this is then? And don't get me wrong, the girl that sold that my salesperson, she was lovely, really, really lovely. Couldn't do more. She's been great on email, except to the point where, we went through what I wanted, how I wanted it, blah blah blah. And they said, oh, fun enough, because the lead time it's a fair wait. She said, oh, actually, another branch has one in your exact spec, so it's perfect. If you put a holding deposit down on it now, we'll hold that, and then once we've gone through it, everything else, we'll ship it down and you pay the rest of it. Perfect, lovely. Did that. I'm thinking, a couple of weeks, perfect. Get a call from her the other day saying, I'm sorry, that's been sold. What do you mean it's been sold? I'm like, if you put a deposit on a holiday, and they went, oh, sorry, the seats on the plane, someone else is sitting in them, what do you say to that?
That's the problem, is the power is all it's gone now.
What can I say? What can I say at that point? She knows I want the car. She's got me over a barrel. So now I've got to wait for one. And I said to her, so what was the reason for the holding deposit? And they went, oh, well, only one person in the company can access that system to reserve the cars. That sounds like a you problem. That's not my problem. So at the moment, I'm trying to negotiate a bit of a better deal, but we'll see. But yeah, that's
at the moment, it is your problem.
Yeah, it's my financial problem now.
Oh, so you've done the dough and got nothing in return?
I've got nothing in return. I'm a bag of sand down. I'm £1,000 down just as a holding deposit, and the car's not even mine. Someone else is driving around it in Crewe. That's the beauty of it. They've got my money, but yeah, it'll all listen. After a while, you're excited for it, but at the end of the day, I'm like, when it comes. It's one of those things.
I mean, I'm, as you know, famously impatient and want everything today. I mean, that's the thing about, Amazon post-COVID. You think 2 days? I'm not waiting 2 days for this thing.
I won't buy it if it's 2 days. It has to be next day delivery, or I will scroll through until I can buy it. I don't care if it's a 10 or more. It has to be next day.
I watched The Brits the other day. Now, I was a little bit wary of talking about this because by the time this episode goes out, probably about 6 weeks have gone by. On the other hand, we did go through the top 10 films of 1957 the other week, so this is actually an improvement in our entertainment coverage.
We're nothing if relevant, if not relevant.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt I didn't feel too bad watching The Brits. As you know, I wanted to avoid the cliche of boom, boom, boom music and I've never heard of them. But these are. The Brits cover relevant acts. They cover people who have sold tons of records. So if I haven't heard of them, then that's on me, really. Yeah. And it's the same. I don't really know anything about hip hop. You famously Fetty Wap. I had absolutely no. I still don't really know who you're talking about.
Listen to him this morning on the way to golf.
That is on me. I totally accept that. So at the Brits, I'm running at about 50-50 recognition level. Yeah. I reckon I've heard of half of them, and the other half are completely new to me. But I think some of that is down to my own algorithm pushing the same old shit I've listened to for the last 40 years down there. But part of it is because of the fracturing of media, I guess, because everyone's got their own little niche that you can operate in. And I think the award ceremony, which, I'm not a massive fan of these things, but, it was Saturday night and we had nothing to do. So we watched it. And I was delighted to see that I have actually seen 2 of the acts live in the last 6 months, maybe, probably less than that, actually, 4 months.
Your bad self.
I know. I mean, to be fair, one of them, Fontaine's DC, I actually hadn't heard of before somebody bought me a ticket to go there. And in true middle-aged style, I've been calling them DC Fontaines for the last 4 months as well.
I have no idea who that is. Genuinely have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think they won Best International Act. They're an Irish band. Okay. And they're a sort of punk rock. Not punk rock, that's wrong. They're a punky indie style band, guitars and musicians.
My wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's for everyone. When I went to see him, though, I felt I was seeing performance art, and I really enjoyed it, and also managed to provoke one of the most thrilling moments of my life when I led a popular rebellion through the streets.
I remember you telling us about this. Well, dear listener, when he says a popular rebellion, it was about crossing the road. I mean, there wasn't sheep being burnt in the street, and there wasn't paint being dulled. But yeah, okay.
Well, all revolutions have a very tiny spark sometimes. The Arab Spring was kicked off by a guy arguing about a permit in the market. There we were on the side of the road, waiting for the permission to cross the road. And it suddenly struck me about how we'd been listening to this band tell us about how capitalism and society had let us down and that we are the people and we should be demanding more. And then we all go outside and wait patiently for the state to tell us we can cross the road our road. Yeah. The man. So I stuck it to the red man and I said to the hordes of people behind me, we are the people. We cross when we want to cross. So I strode out into the middle of the road and thousands of people, I'm pretty sure it was thousands, maybe it was a few fewer than that, but thousands, let's say, crossed the road with me and into the traffic, which really consisted of one slightly bemused-looking Uber driver. But nonetheless, it was one of the most thrilling moments of the last 10 years for me. Really enjoyed it.
My thing is, I mean, with myself and you and me, I see us as we're open to music. We both play. You still play music. I used to play music. Both our tastes, are varied. But I see myself, I don't know whether it's speed of life, I've sort of lost that thread of modern music, and I'm sure I'd like it. I listen to, in certain genres, like the Brits. I remember messaging you because I quickly turned over and Coldplay were on. But I'm now at that point where it's not something I need to watch. I remember the days when, when Oasis were on it, you had to watch it because you didn't know what Liam was going to do. But we were at that age where we were the target audience. And like, for instance, you mentioned another act that I know you're going to get onto. After you mentioned it, I listened to some of the stuff, a couple of the songs I knew, and most of it was really good. But I don't know how I've fallen out of that. What's new, what's out there, and I just seem to have slipped away from that.
Well, I think I went to see Lola Young, which is the other act, and
Eric's daughter, topical. Thank you very much. 90s Wimbledon midfielder.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's not the case. That's not the case. But yeah, so I went to the gig. It was at Kentish Town Forum. It's not a venue I've been to before, but it was good because it's quite small, but it's big enough to hold a proper crowd and have all the sound all right. It's not like being in a pub where the drums are miles too loud and you come out, your ears ringing, you haven't really heard anything. So it's a good venue, and it's ideal for being able to see somebody like that, I think. And yeah, I think the reason is that I like her music. She's got a song out at the moment, Messy.
Like it. Really like it.
Yeah, it's really good. But I'm sort of singing along to it or, tapping my foot. The crowd, which of course were predominantly young women, they're not singing along. They're singing it back because they feel what she's singing to them really deeply. In a way that I guess when we were 15 or 16, Oasis and Blur and Britpop, they were reflecting young people's concerns, or not really concerns, because I don't think you can call an Oasis a sort of like an Issues band or anything.
If you don't get a lump in your throat with Chakademus and Plies' gal wine, then you're dead inside.
I must be dead inside, mate, because that is that's almost like novelty music to me.
It's still on my playlist.
But well, yeah, why not? Why not? You know, you listen to whatever you want to listen to. I don't care. But yeah, so it was great to be part of I wouldn't say I was part of a community, but watching a community of young women. There was like 2 18, 19-year-old girls singing to each other into each other's face. Like, you could see it. They didn't just love the music. They actually loved everything it was saying, because
they're experiencing that now, aren't they? They're going through that. These are new emotions for them. They're experiencing love, breakups, everything like that for the first, second, but it's all new to them, where we've done it.
And I think that is why you go
it's great.
from it. And but the other thing I felt was, you know, this obviously was not for me. You know, she's not singing to me or about my life, and I'm fine with that, of course. I didn't actually feel excluded from the event in any way at all. And after all, you know, I'm a white middle-aged man. They can have Lower Young music, and we've got the gender pay gap and all of the political positions of power globally. So, you know, there's still a bit. I also want to, you know, explore new avenues of music, and, you know, listening to the same old shit over and over again. He says going to see Iron Maiden in the summer. I'm really looking forward to it.
But there's another side to that. Now, I mean, hopefully you get this with your daughter as she gets older. But I went and saw the Foo Fighters. My son is in his 20s. He's at that stage now where I had him young. And the payoff for that is he's so cool at this age, and we've got so many interests that are the same. One of my highlights of my life was we went and saw the Foo Fighters, and it just so turned out we got there at the right time, and we got into the thing called the Golden Circle. You don't buy tickets for it, but if you're there early enough, we didn't even know this. We just lucked out, and we were like 6 rows back at the Foo Fighters. It was amazing. And to see him, and the beauty of that is also because they've been around for so many years. I'm at the age now where you can sort of step back and look at it. There's 12-year-old kids, 13-year-old kids. My son's in his 20s. There's men and women older than me there, and it was one of those things where you think this is really cool. Where a band like that can touch so many generations, and it links everyone singing along. That, to me, to see my son with a band that I've loved, and it was something I'd have loved to have done with my dad, but he wasn't really many times a giggy person. You know, he loved it. Some of my musical influences are what he introduced me to, but it wasn't that we went to that. To have that day with him was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. That you know, whatever your feelings are towards Foo Fighters, I mean, I really like them as well. It seems like quite a good live band out of the Bruce Springsteen mould of giving the punters value for money in terms of a
Bruce doesn't muck about. What is he? And he's nearly 80. Knocks out 3 hours.
Yeah, still doing the old 3-hour sets. But that's Dave Grohl does something similar. I don't know if he does 3 hours, but
as a showman, he's up there. You know, crowd interaction. He's just next level.
And how do you see this? I mean, you've got 2 perspectives in terms of being a parent, because, you know, your son's an adult and you've got a daughter who is still 9. I guess you must be seeing that pathway again as.
Yeah. She's very much she's what my wife likes. So not that, you know, they're horsey. They love horses. She likes, don't get me wrong, music wise, we haven't really got there yet, but. Yeah, I mean, I listen when we're in the car. I like a lot of stuff she listens to. We put a lot of that on. But yeah, it's interesting to see, because I've done it before, you can see the threads developing.
I've tried to get my daughter, who is also 9, into some of the stuff that. I'm realistic. She's not going to be an Iron Maiden fan at 9 years old. I think it's very unlikely. It's not really that sort of vibe. But I'll put Madonna on, some of the 80s Madonna. I said, listening to this is great. And she turned around and said, you can't make me like what you like. She's right. I can't.
Yeah, no, it's true. What can you do? You got to find their own path.
Yeah, they do, and I'm sure at some point I'll feel my age when she goes, "Oh, I found this new band or something." She put Pulp on or something equally as dating as that,
and you'll sit there and put your hands behind your head.
Yeah. So in terms of pop music, I really like Olivia Rodrigo. She's headlining Glastonbury. You're shaking your head there as well.
Never ever.
Yeah, headlining Glastonbury.
But do you know what? Don't get me wrong. I could have heard her songs, but I'm not relating the artists.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean as well. You don't pay a lot of attention to. So you must have Radio 1 on every now and then, and I'll be amazed if you haven't heard him.
I have Radio 1. I think we discussed this before. My wife likes to drop a Radio 2, and I'm just not there yet. It's too wide range. I mean, we did discuss it. Sundays are out.
Yeah, that's Radio 2B for people who remember that.
Radio. To be honest, I'm not a radio guy. I'm podcasts on my own playlist, and that's probably where the problem comes from. Where I'm not being exposed to new music. That's what happens.
Well, I've seen a lot of people reflect that Spotify is actually killing new music, both in terms of being able to earn any money out of it, and also the fact that I don't know if this is the song or the statistic, but like the most played song on Spotify is going to be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
near on 50-year-old song.
And have you tried your virtual DJ? The shit it comes up with.
No, I'm not actually. I haven't got Spotify. I've got YouTube Music, which
you've got something like a virtual DJ, so it looks at your algorithm, shows you stuff that you might like, and I reckon 1 in 20 is something I'd ever listen to. So it tries, but it's, for me, doesn't really work.
Is that because you're waiting for something that you recognise to come on, though?
No, because I mean, for instance, oh God, if anyone is listening, I mean, I like country. I like country music, and I will go through sporadically. I've got a playlist of it. I'll go through like the country top 20, and I'll sit there and listen to it. And if there's something I like, boom, goes in the playlist. I should do that with more music, but I'm just comfortable with that because it's a genre that's new to me. I think I'm comfortable with. I'm more open to going, oh bloody hell, I've never heard something like that before, and putting it in a playlist.
Yeah, I'm very similar actually. I went to a country gig at the O2. It's a country to country festival. It's not something I would attend normally, but the headline act was a singer called Lainey Wilson, and she was in Yellowstone for a bit, playing a part of a country singer. Obviously, a big stretch for her.
That must have been tough.
That role, but part of me likes country music slightly ironically. I mean, the lyrics and everything do get me in the feels every now and then, but even so, I know that it's completely naff and this is ridiculous. And not all of those songs.
And that's part of the charm of it. I mean, do you remember the one I sent you, Mr. Red, White and Blue? It's about a boy that was basically born to go into the military, and he came back from war with one hand. I mean, it's a tune as well. It's an absolute tune.
Well, in true country style, Lainey Wilson has got a song. One of her big hits is called "I've Got a Heart Like a Truck."
There's only one genre on the planet that can get away with something like that.
I know, but you laugh as well, and I laugh. So she's on the big screen giving it like the "Heart Like a Truck" big chorus, and you could see people enjoying it. They don't think it's ironic. They actually think they've got a heart like a truck. Like, Sue, you're an HR manager from Swindon. Get that Stetson off.
Two of my favourite songs. One is called "Drunk on a Plane," about a bloke that it was supposed to be their honeymoon, and his wife to be left him, so he went on the honeymoon on his own and got smashed, and all these stewardesses were all over him. And the second one is called "Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off." It's quite his wife goes out for brunch with her friends, and he goes, "Whatever you do, don't give her tequila because it makes her clothes fall off," and she comes home in a tablecloth. And it's great songs. I would encourage all you country music skeptics to check out the music of Luke Combs as well. And in fact, right, there's two things I really like. He's got
Beer never let me. Oh no.
Yeah.
Beer never broke my heart.
Yeah.
And also, what could be the anthem of this podcast, which is in the middle of growing up and getting old. I mean, if you're in your mid-40s, listen to that song and tell me that it doesn't get you right in wherever it gets you.
The feels.
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard that, I was like I was tearing up a little bit as wearing a suit at London Bridge going to work.
Right, we have topics. I'm going to lead in with the thread. I'm going to say, have you got any more? Because the name of the podcast, and we barely broached it. Have you got another tattoo booked?
Yes.
Yeah. You have another one booked
on Thursday. I'm getting it done on Thursday.
It seems to me that every month you're at a tattoo parlour now.
Yeah, that's my hobby. I get tattoos.
But there's only so much. There's only so much real estate. You're going to be like that lizard bloke with the, you know what I mean, with the.
Well, I was thinking about this and tattoo regret actually, but the only regret I've felt so far is the fact that you can't really have that part of your body tattooed again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have one, and really, I was naive. A teammate of mine was very into that, and he's a tattooist. But unfortunately, I didn't realise at the time. I want that, and I had the design that I wanted, but it wasn't the style that he does. And I've always been a little bit disappointed with the fact that I like it, but it's not the style I wanted. And obviously, with your journey with tattoos, it's been, I mean, the research you've done and the styles that people do now. I mean, this is 10, 12 years old. They were amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, I don't really know what I would have done without Instagram, actually, because beyond that, what do you do? Walk into a tattoo parlour, pick one off the wall and hope that they're good, I guess. But of course, that's not what happens now. That Instagram is the marketplace for tattoo artists, and that's where you go. So the guy that is doing it this week is on Thursday. So Mum, Dad's getting another tattoo. I
haven't seen the design. You normally send me the design to have a look at.
Well, I'll send you it afterwards, and I'll put it on the socials as well.
Yeah, put it on the socials.
So this guy, Mike Boyd, is a British guy, but he has moved to New York and has to come back to sort his visa out and stuff like that. And I think it's one of the amazing things about being a tattoo artist. You can, if you want, and you've got the endeavour to build your profile, you can basically travel the world. And because you're essentially, as I understand it, you're self-employed. You might rent a space in a shop where you're the resident artist, pay them rent or a cut of it, however it works. But you can also do guest spots all over the world.
But you're effectively, your style is, if that's in demand, people want it wherever. Where you look at, God bless them, our grandparents or the occasional ones that had the tattoos, the tattoos were one style or one or two styles. Now there's so many.
I guess the irony of that is that all those old-fashioned traditional style tattoos are all coming back into fashion again now. So if you see like people with patchwork sleeves are black and grey, there'll probably be old-style traditional scorpions and anchors and all that sort of stuff.
How long ago was your first one?
8 months.
And how many do you have now?
This will be number 12.
That is an addiction, my friend.
Yeah,
but good. You're not hurting anyone. Your body, your choice. You're hurting yourself.
I have to say, during the situation is always the cycle is always the same. Where I get really excited, I book it. One of the things I just really love talking about tattoos, and even tattoo artists. Like, put the ball away, mate.
Bit much even for them.
Yeah. God, he didn't have gone about tattoos.
Loves them, this boy.
And so I get into it, and I really love like the build up to it and the preparation, and then some of the ones that I have actually.
Sorry, on the build up. I just had you like putting your suit on like it's a cup final, getting ready.
Well, I've bought myself a tattoo vest.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, it's only a vest, right? It's not a special, like, tattoo vest. But Because the first one I had, where I had to take my top off, I had one done on the top of my shoulder. 4 hours, like
Your darbs out.
yeah, and also it wasn't quite as lithe as I am at the moment. Even so, sitting there for 4 hours, having some trauma imposed on your skin, you get a bit cold. So
Yeah,
I
it's
bought
true.
myself a special little vest to get. So I'll actually be going into London that day for work. You know, Mr. Corporate with my suit and tie and all that sort of stuff. But in my bag will be my tattooing outfit, which includes
like
my vest.
He's like the Southeast Clark Kent.
Yeah, I can barely be recognised. So cutting about. If you see a man who's cutting about the West End on Thursday, well, you won't. This will be 2 months by the time this comes out. But if you did see someone walking around with a vest, I do love all the preparation and getting changed and talking about it, and I sort of become a very you described yourself as a people pleaser before. I'm a tattoo pleaser. I basically do whatever they tell me to do.
Okay, mister, if you think so. One of those, yeah.
You know, because I want to be cool, like you. And then they go, what do you do for a living? I go, I work in pensions.
I bet he, like, you see all the colour drain from his father.
Yeah, they go, oh right, okay. Anyway, puts his headphones on. I like to focus at this point of the tattoo.
Yeah.
And then while they're doing it, like at first it's a bit of a stinger, and then you sort of endorphins start coming through, and it doesn't hurt. And then after a little while, I think to myself, do you know what? I'm not getting another one of these done. It just hurts too much. And then
the body heals quickly. The body heals quickly, and so
I would say, well, in the last half an hour, I'm thinking, this is it. I'm not getting any more after this. I will be scrolling through Insta, thinking about my next appointment on the way home.
why not?
Well, there's lots of reasons why not. They're expensive. It hurts.
To be honest, you have to. Where was it? You went last time for the last one. You sent me a pin of where you were.
Yeah, so I drove to Exeter, which now tattoo artists these days, they won't tattoo anyone pissed. So the idea of going out
them pissed or you pissed? Because I mean,
well, you don't. There's no
there's a line I draw.
No, but the idea of going out on the smash and then falling into a tattoo artist, like with your, you know,
there wouldn't be a tattoo artist in Ibiza or Thailand if that was the rule out there. Bless them.
Yeah, so well, even the one I got my first one in Thailand, and they were like, come in, book it, and then come back 24 hours later to make sure you're not high. So they don't do that anymore. However, as I've discovered, they do accept bookings and deposits from pissed people.
Oh, but yeah. Don't turn up. That's a shame.
Yeah, well, that was the case for me. That's why I booked a tattoo artist 4.5 hours of drive away, because it was a Saturday evening and we'd have been entertaining guests, and
drinks doth flow.
Yeah, I'd had a few, and then it's like, do you know what? I'm going to book this guy. Yeah, Exeter. How far away is it? And in my mind, I thought I can make it. It won't be that bad. It won't be that bad. But so I handed over my non-refundable deposit, as it should be. You know, they got to do the design and that, so and book out a.
Don't talk to me about non-refundable deposits, son.
Yeah, so he's got to do the design and that, and a couple of months later, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive 4.5 hours to get a tattoo, and then 4.5 hours back. So you would like to think I'd learnt my lesson, but I've recently booked another session with him in Exeter, but this time it's going to be a double dayer.
Oh, so you make it worth. Oh, so how many hours?
Probably work out to be about 12 hours, I think.
So you're going to stay up there overnight, weeping on a hotel bed? Like, when I say weeping, I mean the actual tattoo, not you.
Well, I might be. Who knows?
Who knows?
Haven't broken that to Anya yet. So wait for the right moment to say, I'm going on holiday without you to get a tattoo. How do you feel about that?
You've got to pick those moments very carefully.
Yeah, it have to be. I don't feel I've built up enough goodwill. So I'm glad we got onto tattoos, because I had been planning to talk about testosterone how I got onto that particular needle.
Yeah, because that's a conversation that purposely I've been avoiding with you, because this is where I wanted to do it, rather than us doing it socially. This is because I'm interested, but there's questions I have.
I am sure. Now, events, dear boy, events have overtaken us. There's a reference for the kids. So we will have a testosterone replacement therapy doctor as a guest for, in a couple of weeks. So we'll be able to ask somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, all the questions that you might have. And he's probably the person you want to ask those questions, and I can just reflect my experience. So that's one event that happened. But then you made a purchase, Rich, which I think we should.
Listener, if you can hear my reservation about this, once you find out, imagine my wife's. That's all I'm going to say.
You will also be glad that this is currently an audio only. So, enough with the coyness. What you bought?
Well, I mean, the lead up to this was a friend. Mark and myself have been discussing it. I think we broached it earlier with I think possibly our first episode about the American doctor or billionaire who is trying to live as long as possible. I haven't done enough research. He's in his 70s, but he does look.
No, he's not in his 70s. He's 45.
Oh, he's 45. Okay, that's probably why it looks
one
like.
Of the things that I want to do, and we'll do this coming up, is Brian Johnson. He's a tech billionaire. Founder of. He's the founder of a company that eventually became Venmo, that was acquired by PayPal, then part of eBay for 800 million, and he walked away with more than 300, so not quite a billionaire. And we will be reviewing separately, or watching separately, and then reviewing together his documentary, which is on Netflix, Don't Die, the Man Who Wants to Live Forever, and he's really turned himself into an experiment, and with the goal of living for as long as possible. And I did wonder what the point of this was, and we'll come into this in greater detail in the review episode. But I did see some point to it, because he published the vitamin and supplement stack that he takes. And you can buy it from his website. Can you?
Yeah. He also goes to bed about 8:30 at night.
Has lights money.
But there's got to be a point where is another 10 years worth what you're sacrificing? I mean, okay.
Well, maybe.
Again,
maybe.
Maybe. But this is. I'll tell you what. We'll watch the documentary, and then we'll put our feelings across. But what the main point that stuck out from doing a brief Google was something that I was a bit uncomfortable with, where he's measuring his erections against his son's erections.
By against, what do you mean? Literally against? No. I mean, very, very specific.
I'm not talking. They're playing tummy sticks. I'm talking. They were. And I was like, how are you measuring this? You know, how are you gauging your son's erections and your erections whilst you're asleep? How is this happening? And there was an item that they were using. Me being the impulsive person I am, did a bit of research on that. Went, I can get one of them. And I did.
So when we were talking about wearables in the trailers, I kind of was thinking about Whoop rings and Apple Watches. You, in your characteristic style, have taken this a bit further. What have you got?
Well, first of all, I am filming this for the Soch. I'd like to apologise for the colour of my face. I'm not normally looking like an Oompa Loompa. I've played golf all day, and this is basically windburn. It was about 2 degrees when I started this morning.
Puce, I would say.
Puce. It's a bad colour. But I have purchased what this doctor has been using, and it's from a company called Firmtech. I haven't opened this box yet, and in layman's terms, it's a digital cock ring, £200 digital cock ring. I purchased this sitting on the sofa opposite my wife, who was horrified.
Well done you for being Well, I think the £200 digital cock ring has got the show's title sewn up. So, take us through it. What you got there? What have you got?
Here we have a lovely circular box with the logo of the company. I'm not going to say who it is, purely because no free adverts. We have, oh God, we have an instruction manual. This is going to be horrific. Oh, there's a flaccid penis. That's nice.
What?
He's no, it's a drawing of circumcised. So he's one of my brothers. And obviously it's standard. There's an app. Remove the ring from charger. Press the power button. That concerns me when it's going around my old boy. There's a current. Open app and press pair. Fuck me. If I lose my phone and someone sees this app on my phone, Jesus wet. I mean, does it record the details? If I lose my phone,
you're the one who's bought it.
200 sovs this has cost me. Hold on. Oh, whoa. So it's not like the ones I've seen in a friend told me about in an adult film. There's just a ring. I've got to do some fucking. I can't do knots. The missus is going to have to do this.
So describe to us the actual ring.
I'm going to open it up now because the box isn't open. There's a QR code, so I imagine that's for. It's hermetically sealed. Thank fuck. So no, someone else hasn't worn it. Imagine having a second-hand one. I'm going to go on eBay and have a look. Some dirty bastard selling it. It says the world's first smart sex tech. Listen, I've done enough internet search. It's www.erectilefitness.com. I mean, what will I do in being press-ups or something with my old boy? Okay, so I'm peeling back the lid and... Right,
you've got to be really clear about what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, I'm peeling back the lid on the box. There is... It feels like... I mean, obviously, surprisingly, it's jelly. There's a charging base. That's not going on my desk. Look at that. It's a charging base. It's got a fucking... Oh, it's wireless charging. And... I mean, what do I do with that?
Go on, hold it up. I can't see it.
So, you put...
Oh, my God. Right, so I'm
How do you describe it?
Do you know what I describe it as? I describe it as a miniature version of a European exchange student's backpack.
Yeah. So what you do, it looks like, I mean, I'm reading this. So you put your nuts through that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It does the whole job. Nuts through that.
So if I could describe what I can see, it's like a sort of maroon unit with
enough about me.
A maroon unit which looks like it holds whatever technology it is, and then a sort of black rubber loop that goes round.
Yeah, and you've got to put that around the base of your shaft. And I'm going to describe one loop will now be under the testicles and the other around the base of the penis. If you prefer a tighter ring for sex, I'm all right, thanks. Add another loop. Oh, no wonder this is purple. It'll blend in. Hold on. Do not use for more than 90 minutes. What do you think I'm playing in the European semi-final? 90 minutes? I think God love my wife, it's not her fault, it's mine. In the last 3 years, it could add up to 90 minutes. Fucking 90 minutes. When session is complete... Yeah. Either sexual act or overnight. If I've done some crazy things in my time, if anyone thinks I'm keeping this bastard on overnight,
you've got to.
Oh, I've got content. Innit? Oh yeah, I'll lose my Corey for content. Who's paying my bills? Who's paying my hospital bills? Because you're not. Press the power button for 3 seconds. Flashing red lights are never a sign of anything good.
I mean, 3 seconds is more your sort of...
Yes, 3 seconds is in my wheelhouse. A red light will appear, then disappear. indicating the end of the recording session. Well, thank God I've got to charge this up first. Do not overstretch. No danger there, mate.
Do not.
So,
Right, so you got to have it on. You got to have it on for at least one night, and then share some results with us as a baseline.
I'll get charging now. Oh God, I hope my daughter doesn't come upstairs.
Just say it's like, well, be careful what you tell her, like, because you might think, oh, earphones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is at the moment the fact that I can't get it back on the base doesn't bode well for the rest of it. That's it. Oh God, she is gonna. If I get default, no, because she knows about it, so it's okay. Oh God. Oh, what have I done? Okay, well, this is for you, listeners. You better start fucking listening. I'm gonna plug it in. I want to see if it lights up. 1 minute. Let's have a look. I mean, I don't know if it's on right, but I'll work that out later. I'll work that out later and get it charged, and hopefully, if the moon aligns, and well, I might have something to report back by episode 62.
There was another number in the 60s you could have chosen then.
Yes, there was. Yes.
That would be
well played.
Awesome. But I think everyone in our community, all 7 of us at the moment, thank you for your service and sacrifice at this.
Who was it? I've made a terrible mistake, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
So we look forward to you wearing that and reporting back pretty soon, in maybe in the next week or so.
Yeah,
with
a fair wind, there might be next week or so. Yeah.
So looking forward to that, but I think we should probably leave that there for now.
Can we please?
We can indeed. So as always, please get in touch with us. Dad's got another tattoo at gmail.com. We can build a community of erection monitors here.
If I've wanted to be the head of a craze, not this one.
Well, you can't always choose what the universe has in store for you. So, we've all got our places. This is yours. Well, until then, thank you very much for listening, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.
That is content.
That is content.